Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you as always by Lay of the Land and hosted by me, Roline Marks, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines every Monday to Thursday. So let's begin, which I think is the most unenviable job in the world, and that is cobbling together a coalition. And this task has fallen to incoming Prime Minister-to-be Benjamin Netanyahu. His party, the Likud, won the recent elections, and of course there has been a lot of arguing and horse trading over who gets what position. So this is where we are at the moment. There have been some criticisms today towards Netanyahu from his own Likud faction. Many of the members of Knesset saying that he is assigning important portfolios to secure his power base, but really giving the crumbs to Likud. However, Netanyahu has assured Likud members that the most important portfolios, which are the Defense Ministry and the Foreign Ministry, will remain within Likud. Now, yesterday, Channel 12 reported that talks between Netanyahu and Bezalel Smotrich, who had demanded the Defense Ministry, had sort of come to some kind of an agreement where Bezalel Smotrich might get the Finance Ministry and his party might get the Education Ministry as well. Aryeh Deri, who wanted the Finance Ministry, has been offered the Deputy Prime Minister position, as well as possibly the Interior and Transportation Ministry. So right now, nothing is confirmed. There is still a lot of negotiation underway, and it really is the unenviable task. Netanyahu has set himself a deadline of Wednesday to have his coalition in place. However, the actual deadline that has been given to him by President Herzog is the 6th of December. It is believed that it is highly unlikely that a final coalition will be decided by Wednesday, which essentially is tomorrow. Outgoing IDF Chief of Staff Aviv Kochavi is in Washington. This is his last trip as the IDF Chief of Staff. He has met with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and it is reported from the White House that the two of them discussed the increasing threat posed by Iran. Now, reports separate to this today are reporting that Iran has enriched uranium to about 60% at the Fordo nuclear site. Yesterday, both the Defense Ministry and one of the leaders of Israel's INSS reported that the World Cup remains vulnerable to opportunistic Iranians, possibly wanting to carry out terror attacks. Last week, Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs advised Israelis who are going to the World Cup not to draw any attention, in fact, to completely subvert their Jewish and Israeli identity. Also, regarding Iran today, news has broken that Israeli intelligence shared with the United Kingdom authorities that Iran was possibly planning to carry out terror attacks against UK-based journalists. Meanwhile, Kochavi and Jake Sullivan also discussed the ongoing and increasing violence in the West Bank. But it's not always about conflict. Sometimes it is about those stories that warm your heart, and in this case, save a heart. 5-year-old Palestinian boy Amir Mabchouk has become the 3,000th Palestinian to receive life-saving heart surgery from the incredible NGO Save a Child's Heart. Mabchouk, who comes from the Jabalia refugee camp in the north of the Gaza Strip, came in just several days ago to the hospital at Holon. And this NGO, and I really urge you to take a moment to look them up online, Save a Child's Heart, is really extraordinary. To date, they have performed life-saving heart surgery on children from 65 countries, many of them not enjoying bilateral relations with the State of Israel. And of course, it's not the only area where Israel gives out humanitarian aid, but it certainly is one of the most high profile. And what would a broadcast at the moment be without a trip to the World Cup? And it's off to Qatar we go. Now, yesterday we brought you the story that the Jerusalem Post were reporting that kosher food was banned in Qatar. New York-based Rabbi Mark Schneier has denied these claims by the Jerusalem Post, saying that there are baby steps being taken and kosher foods such as bagels from New York are being flown into Qatar to accommodate kosher dietary needs. He also said that while this is happening, Jewish prayer is still forbidden by the Qatari authorities. This World Cup, of course, is not without its controversies. Yesterday, the Iranian football team refused to sing their country's national anthem. An incredible brave move, because we know what could possibly await them on their return. Some Iranian fans were put off by that, but we applaud the incredible courage of the Iranian soccer team or football team, depending on what you call it. The captain of the team, in his press conference after the match, also spoke about their concern for the situation inside Iran. But we wouldn't be the Israel Brief without bringing you all that important news, so it's off to the scoreboard we go. And here are the scores as they stand. Today, Saudi Arabia creating a massive upset by beating hot favourites Argentina 2-1. Yesterday, the United States drew with Wales, or Cameroon as it's called in Welsh, 1-1. The Netherlands beat Senegal 2 goals to 0. And England thrashed Iran with 6 goals to 2. And of course, we'll be bringing you all those updates right here on the Israel Brief. And we also bring you a whole lot of original content, and you can check that out online on our website at www.layoftheland.online. We have a very interesting story written by our co-founder Dave Kaplan today about a memorial in South Africa to the Jews and many others who fought in World War I, World War II, and helped Israel gain her independence. Check that out there. It's also up on our Facebook page at Lotl Site. Like us, follow us, share our content. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. If you are watching on YouTube right now, please consider clicking on that red subscribe button. Let's get our community growing. And on Twitter, we're at Lay of the Land 5. And with that, I'm Marlene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where you get your top stories Monday to Thursdays. So join me again tomorrow for the Wednesday edition.